Hi everyone and welcome to today's session. We're now going to be dedicating a full session to speed and agility. So we're not going to work at 100% pace just yet, so we're still working on developing good mechanics and speed. We're going to kickstart this with a warm-up, and what we're going to do is take the mechanics that we've learned from blocks 1 and 2 and build them into the warm-up now. So again, we're going to work on the A-skip mechanics. So we're going to start off with that. So Jake's going to help out with demonstration today. So continuously just trying to improve that A-skip mechanic. And a reminder on this, it's knee up and toe up. So you're going to work across 10 meters for this. So Jake, I'm just going to get you to demonstrate that. Opposite arm and leg movement. High knee, high toes, striking the ground underneath. Good. Okay, you're going to take a walk back after that. And if you've got the space, you're going to repeat that again, and you're going to take it into a run after the 10 meters for about 20 meters at a 75% pace. Trying to exaggerate those A-skip mechanics as you do that. So Jake's going to demonstrate here. High knee, high toes, toes pulled up, striking the ground underneath you, and taking off to 75% pace. Again, taking a walk back to recover. We're just warming up, so make sure it's not any higher than 75% pace. So we're now going to remind ourselves of the B mechanics. And the B mechanics is to coach the opening out of the leg in full speed. So Jake's going to take us through this again across 10 meters. Opening out. And taking a walk back. Yep, so you don't need to do that 75% run just yet. You can just take that walk back, and then you can take it into that run like Jake has just demonstrated. So that's fine. After you do take it into that run, walk back, and across 10 meters, we're now going to introduce a new exercise. So this exercise is called a high knee bound. So this is to teach and coach powerful knee flexion and knee drive, and also an explosive leg extension. So really we're looking at the A-skip mechanics here again, but we're now applying a little bit more force to bring it into a jump. So Jake's going to demonstrate this. You're going to drive off one leg, drive the opposite knee high, and try get as much height as you can. Good, and take a walk back. So you're going to repeat that 2 times, and you're really going to focus on driving off that back leg, getting that back leg as straight as possible, producing force from that back leg, and then driving the opposite leg knee high and bringing the toes up in front like you would on the A-skip. So that exercise is really, really good for advancing your linear speed mechanics and also for coaching the mechanics of jumping high. If you're jumping up to catch a high ball, that's where this drill will come into. So the next exercise we're going to do is the straight leg bound exercise, and this is to draw the attention to the hips and power from the hips. You're going to keep your leg as straight as possible for this one, driving forward and striking the ground underneath you and pulling back, keeping the leg as straight as possible. So again, Jake's going to demonstrate this. Leg straight, pull the ground back behind you, and all the focus is on the hip extension. Again, taking a walk back, and you're going to repeat that 2 times. So the high knee bound twice, take a walk back to recover, and then your straight leg bound, taking a walk back to recover and repeating that twice. So we're now going to take this on to some more advanced force production and force absorption work. So we've been working on that over the past couple of weeks, and we're now going to build up to some jumping action. A little bit more explosive, a little bit more repetitive, but really still looking for nice jumping mechanics and that force absorption on the landing. So Jake, I'm going to get you to pop in here. The first exercise we're going to work on is to teach explosiveness through a vertical jump. So we're going to use a squat jump here, and we're just going to do 3 repetitions. So really what you're looking at doing here is producing force, but looking at it coming from the mechanics. So yes, you want to jump as high as possible, but make sure you're focusing on the alignment of the ankle, knees, and the hips, and especially on that landing, absorbing the force. So let's have a look at that. 3 repetitions on a squat jump. Good. And then you're going to take a 30-second breather, and you're going to repeat that 3 times. So what you're looking for there is dropping into the squat position, using the arms to generate some momentum here, exploding up, but then more importantly is catching yourself in that athletic stance position and sinking back down into the squat position before you drive up again. So that's the most important part of the exercises, dropping down, sinking down into the position, and making that landing as soft as possible. If it's very loud, focus on absorbing the force through the ankles, the knees, and the hips. The next exercise we're going to work on then is the lunge jump. So now looking at splitting the stance and creating force through that split stance position and absorbing force through that position as well. So for this one, because you're alternating the leg movement, you're going to do 4 repetitions in total. So let's have a look at this. Driving high and catching, and you can use the arms here for momentum as well. Perfect, okay? 4 repetitions, 30-second rest, and you're going to repeat that 3 times. All about jumping and landing mechanics. The third exercise then for this section is going to be the horizontal jump. So now we're taking that vertical jump that we did with the squat jump, and we're bringing it now into a horizontal plane. So Jake's going to demonstrate this. So with this one, you are trying to jump forward as far as possible to generate that force, but we're looking at the mechanics here and how we can do that with good mechanics. So you're going to sink down into almost a squat position. You're going to drive the arms forward to help you out with that jump, extending at the knees, ankles, and hips. And on the landing, that force absorption again. Flat foot, ankle, knee, and hip bend. So let's take a look at that for 3 repetitions. Good. Driving the arms up high, leaning forward. Good. Perfect. Good. Okay, so just 3 repetitions. Catch your breath, 30-second rest, and then you're going to repeat that 3 times. The final exercise is the lateral hop. So we're going to start moving now laterally, side to side, and start introducing that jump and landing mechanics in this plane. So Jake, let's have a look at that for 4 repetitions. Good. Perfect. Sinking down into it, loading through the ankle, knee, and hip. Good. And nice explosion and leaning in the direction that you're going. So that finishes up the warm-up. We're now going to take it into the main phase of the session. Okay, now that we're warmed up, we're going to challenge some of the technique we've learned over the last few blocks and apply it to some more advanced drills. So just a reminder on the acceleration technique before we go into this first drill. The acceleration position, it's all about body position. You want to be forward as much as possible so that when you push the ground, you're pushing the ground backwards and you're accelerated forward. So that forward lean is very, very important. You've got a high drive of the knee in front, so flexion through the hip, the knee, and the ankle. And you've got extension through the back leg, through the glute, through the hip, the knee, and the ankle. So we would have practiced this before against the wall or using a low surface just to get that lean, that body position right. We're now going to do a drill called a falling start, and you're going to want a space of about 20 or 30 meters to perform this. And we're now taking it away from the support of the wall or the box or lower surface that you're using to make it more real. So we're still applying the same mechanics, but now we're a little bit more free in our movement. So Jake, I'm going to get you to demonstrate this. Yeah, that's, I'll get you up here actually, just so you can see. So with this exercise, like I said, 20 to 30 meters of space to run. If you don't have that, you can work across a shorter space, but you do want some bit of a space here to run out after the falling start. So you're going to start feet shoulder width apart, and you're just going to let yourself fall forward. And as you do that, you're falling forward with the whole body. The biggest mistake here made when doing this exercise is that you hinge forward at the hips. So letting yourself fall forward with the whole body, and when you feel like you're about to fall, you're then going to start the running motion. Quick steps from the feet and a nice strong arm drive. So Jake's going to demonstrate here. Good. Okay, so not too fast there. You're just going to work at about 70% pace when you do fall into that position and run. But it's quick steps. So the first up to about 3 steps, very quick, a nice strong arm drive, and then just stride it out at about a 70% pace. After that, you're going to walk back and then do 2 more sets, one at 80% and the last one at 90%, just building up that pace. And each time you perform that exercise, you're trying to drop a little bit lower. So only drop to the position where you're comfortable. And when you do feel like you're going to fall, you start that running mechanics. Okay, the next exercise we're going to focus on is the T agility drill. This is going to incorporate acceleration, deceleration, your back pedal, and side shuffle. All movements that we would have worked on the mechanics of before. So just again, a reminder on that. Acceleration forward, like I just said, you're leaning forward, driving through the back leg, forward to a cone that's about 5 to 10 meters in front. From there, let's just work on the back pedal for now. So you're going to back pedal back, driving the ground away from you, back to the first cone. Remembering also that the deceleration at that cone in front of you, you're absorbing the force through the ankles, knees, and hips in that nice, strong, athletic position. For the side shuffle then, you're going to work about 3 to 5 meters either side. So if you've got the space, use 10 meters forward and the 10 meters either side, so 5 and 5. If you're limited on space, you can take it back to about 5 meters forward, 3 meters either side. So side shuffle then, remember that you're planting off the outside foot, pushing away from you to go in the direction that you want to go. You're staying nice and low and not allowing the feet to hit off one another. So you're going to do that in both directions. So Jake is going to demonstrate here on the T agility. You're going to perform this at about 80 to 90% pace and working on the mechanics. So 80 to 90% pace, Jake. Forward, decelerate, side, side, back to the center, and push the ground away from you, back to the start. Okay, perfect. Okay, so making sure that you've got some space to do that at home. Okay, we're now going to challenge the side shuffle or lateral movement with shorter, quicker change of direction. So we're going to use a zigzag drill here. So what you're going to want here is 5 markers, and you want to mark out in a zigzag pattern about 3 meters apart. So you don't want any more than 3 meters apart. This is to teach a shorter, quicker change of direction. So in that zigzag pattern, you're going to move through the drill, planting the outside foot like you would when we were working on the mechanics of the side shuffle, and leaning in the direction that you want to go. So Jake's going to demonstrate this, remembering to stay nice and low, driving off that outside foot, and a quick change of direction and leaning in the direction you want to go. Good. Okay. Just 5 cones marked out so that you're just doing 4 change of directions. Taking a walk back, you're doing this at about 80 to 90%, and you're going to do that 3 times. So just a reminder, get low, drive off the outside foot, don't let yourself fall over and let your center of gravity come to the outside of the marker. So driving off that opposite foot and leaning in the direction you want to go. Nice short, sharp change of direction, but get the mechanics right. Slow it down if you feel like it's a bit messy. So we're now going to take that and do it in reverse. And this drill is a really, really good one for teaching the mechanics that we need for marking on the field. When you're marking your opponent and you're shuffling back with them and you're watching what they're doing, this is where this drill becomes very useful. So Jake's going to demonstrate that. Again, you're looking for the same thing here. You're just slightly looking back here to see where the cone is behind you. And if you're uncomfortable with that, take the cones away and just use the space you have. So Jake, when you're ready. Good. Okay. So working at about 80 to 90% there with that. Taking 30 seconds to a minute break in between, and you're going to repeat that 3 times. That's it for today's speed session. We're going to finish it up now with a cool down. We're now going to take it onto a cool down stretch just to finish off the workout. Okay, so for the cool down stretch, you're going to hold each stretch for about 30 to 45 seconds. And you're going to flow through a routine here from standing position down onto the floor and then back up onto the feet. Okay, so Henry, we're going to just start off with a stretch for the posterior chain, so along the calves, hamstrings, glutes, into your back, and we're going to stretch through the chest as well. So I'm going to get you to take your hands behind your back, interlock your fingers, and then you're going to pull your arms back to stretch through your chest. From that position, feet pointing forward, just about shoulder width apart. You're going to hinge forward at the hips and try bring your arms up as high as you can to the ceiling. So you're pulling your hands up to the ceiling and trying to keep your legs nice and straight on this. Good. So we're going to hold here for 30 seconds on each stretch. Really pulling those arms up. And really exaggerate that pull of the chest. And as you hold this movement, try exaggerate that pull. Pulling back through the shoulders, pulling the hands towards the ceiling. Good, so just holding for another 5 seconds, really exaggerating that stretch and just using a nice slow controlled breathing pattern here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, keeping that position, Henry, bring your hands down onto the mat. Good, you're gonna walk forward, you're gonna drop onto one knee, and you're gonna bring the opposite foot forward, and we're gonna take a hip flexor stretch here. Good, so you're going to lean forward, and what you're looking for here is a nice stretch on the front of the hip. If you're not feeling that stretch, you can just walk your front foot forward a little bit more. If you're too far back, you're not going to get that stretch. So your knee here in front doesn't want to come over the toes. You're going to walk it forward and hold that stretch. Again, holding each stretch for about 30 seconds. If you can hold it for a little bit longer, you can go up to 45 seconds. Okay, let's keep that position, and we're going to take it now to the hamstring on the opposite side. So you're going to sit back, you're going to allow the toes come up towards you, and you're going to reach forward towards the foot. Okay, so as you're performing this stretch, you want to reach your hands towards the foot, but don't force the stretch and don't force any of these stretches. So just stretching to the point of tension and never pain on these movements. So you're just reaching towards that foot. If you can't reach the foot or the ankle, don't worry about it. Don't force the movement. So again, holding for about 30 seconds here, just helping these muscles to stretch out and kickstart that recovery. Good. Okay, Henry, you're going to switch legs. Opposite leg forward, you're going to push forward for that hip flexor stretch. If you're not feeling that, again, walk that front foot forward a little bit more. And just gently sitting forward. And let your torso come forward with you. You don't want to pull back on this movement. So just keep that spine neutral and hinge forward. Just trying to find that stretch on the front of that back leg. Again, using your breath, deep breaths into the nose, out through the mouth, remembering that that breath can help mobilize the joints and muscles. And sitting back for your hamstring stretch on this side. Again, reaching towards the foot, but not forcing the movement. If you can't reach the foot or ankle, just reach down along the leg as far as you can. If you find that the muscle is releasing out and you can reach it a little bit further, take it that little bit further. And on each exhale, imagine that muscle relaxing. And relax. Perfect. Okay, let's face this direction for the next one, Henry. We're going to take it now to the inner thigh. Take your hands down in front. You're going to bring your left leg out to the side. Toes pointing forward. And you're going to press back, and you should feel this stretch along the inside of the left leg. If you're struggling to find that stretch, you're just going to walk the supporting knee out a little bit wider and gently press back into it. You can rotate through the torso and sink down into it if you want to find a little bit of a deeper stretch. Feeling that, Henry? Again, about 30 to 45 seconds, and you can switch legs. Good, okay, straight leg on the stretching leg. Sit back into it, try find that stretch along the inside of the leg. Again, if you're struggling to find that stretch, you can walk the supporting knee out a little bit more, or you can rotate your torso towards the supporting knee. Again, using your breath, relax the muscles on the exhale. Good. Okay, Henry, I'll get you to bring your hands to the front of the mat again. From here, you're going to lift onto your toes. Nice straight leg position. Walk back to a standing position. Trying to keep the legs as straight as possible. And we're just going to finish off. You can stay facing that direction, Henry. We're going to finish off with a quad stretch. So you're going to keep your supporting leg nice and soft on this. I want you to reach back, grab a hold of your foot behind, and pull your heel towards your back side. Now, as you're doing this, the supporting knee staying soft to stabilize. And pulling your heel nice and close to the back side. If your knee is out here in front, you're not going to feel that stretch. So pull it back in line with the opposite leg or back beyond it if you can. Also trying not to let that knee flare out to the side. So keep it centered, keep it pulled back, and hold that stretch on the quad. Again, 30 to 45 seconds, and switch it over. Soft supporting leg. Keep that balance. If you are struggling to balance here, you can just hold on to something and get that stretch. So again, knee centered, pull it back. Try not to let it come out in front. Try not to let it come out to the side. Pull it back, stay centered, and feel that stretch on the front here on the quad. Again, using your breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And relax. Good. Okay, and that's it for our session today. Thank you very much for joining us, and looking forward to seeing you in the next session.